Can I be real or is it boring? To give you a peace of mind, cause mine is so enormous. Way past the norm, Norman, while you're conforming. Like comforting mattresses.
What up, though? It's that nigga Mom, man. We about to react to this video about Kenan, from Kenan and Kel, in his early beginnings. So, before we get into it, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share so we hit the 100K today. Let's see what Ray Williams Johnson gotta say. Cause I fuck with his videos, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I be fucking with his videos. I be looking at them, so I gotta look at this one with y'all. So, like I said, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share so we hit that 100K today. Let's go.
So Kenan Thompson worked his entire childhood just for someone to steal it from him. Now, Kenan, he's around 14 years old when this story starts, and he's living in Atlanta. And he's a child actor at this point who's already done a few major movies.
I think that's Angels in the Outfield.
He's obsessed with comedy. Like, he loves performing and making people laugh, and he dreams of being on TV. Specifically, he wants to be on SNL, like his idol was, Eddie Murphy. And one day, in 1994, Kenan's mom gets a call that changes his life forever. He overhears and learns that he's just been cast on a new Nickelodeon sketch comedy show, All That, which is basically like SNL for kids. And this is great for him. So Kenan flies out to Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida to work on the show. And this show, it becomes a hit. And suddenly he's a series regular on this hit show, and this is everything Kenan has always dreamed of. But here's the thing about all of this. He comes from very humble beginnings. So when he suddenly starts making money, his mom doesn't have enough experience to manage it, and she wants to make sure it's not spent irresponsibly.
Okay.
And one day, while she's at church, she meets this guy, who we'll just call
at church.
Accountant. And Accountant
and that's
tells
crazy.
her that he's some kind of tax expert and that he can protect her son's earnings and manage it safely for him. And this is great news for them. And eventually, Accountant says, "You should give me power of attorney. That way I can make decisions for Kenan without bothering him while he's on set." And they trust him, so Kenan and his mom agree, and they sign the paperwork. And to make sure that Kenan doesn't overspend, Accountant gives him a debit card with a spending limit of $150
$150, that ain't
And so
shit.
A year or two passes, and Kenan is now 16 years old. And he wants to buy himself a nice car, a sports car. I mean, of course he does. He's a 16-year-old making money.
Mm-hmm.
But Accountant is like, no, buy something practical. And he tells him to buy an old, used, cheap, beat-up Chevy Beretta.
And that's,
it looks like this.
And it's crazy because my mama boyfriend had a fucking Beretta. I don't see Berettas no more, but like, I remember when I was a kid, that nigga had a burgundy Beretta like that, bro. A Bosnian motherfucker. That's the only reason I know what a Bosnian is, because my mama dated one. But let's go.
And of course, Kenan isn't happy about this. In fact, whenever Kenan wants to spend a bit of his money, Accountant always discourages him, saying, "You need to keep saving for your future." And so Kenan saves, and he keeps on working and performing and acting. And eventually, his performance on All That makes him such a standout that he's offered a lead role on his own TV show, Kenan and Kel. So now he's working on 2 hit TV shows at the same time.
So what's going on with this
soon,
money?
He becomes one of the biggest stars on Nickelodeon. He even gets to star in his own Nickelodeon movie, Good Burger. I mean, you get it. He's a massive success, and this success goes on for years. But it's not gonna last forever. Because now it's the year 2000.
Okay, he's a grown adult.
21 years old at this point. And so he's no longer a kid. And this same year, his contract with Nickelodeon ends. And this really sucks for him, because now he feels really lost. I mean, it's one thing to make it as a child actor. It's a whole different thing to be taken seriously by the industry as an adult actor.
And
but
to figure it out.
Even so, he still hasn't given up on his dream of being on SNL. His agent even sends Kenan's tapes to SNL producers over and over again, trying to get him on the show. But unfortunately, he gets rejected every single time with the same response.
Damn,
"You look too young." And Kenan, he doesn't take this rejection well. I mean, he's just like, well, that's just an excuse. I'm older than Eddie Murphy was when he was on the show. They just don't want me. And so Kenan, he's kind of in a crisis. He feels like he needs to figure out what he's going to do with the rest of his life. And so he goes back home to Atlanta and he stays with his mom. And one day he's chilling at his mom's house, and that is when he gets an idea. I've been working my whole life. I've saved up $1.5 million by now. And he figures that he can buy himself a house for $400,000 and still have over $1 million left over.
Okay.
And with that, he can basically retire and not have to worry about whether Hollywood will ever accept him as an adult actor. And so Kenan goes out and he finds his dream house. It's right down the street from his mom's. It's perfect. This is the future he's been saving for his whole life. So for the first time, he's going to make a major purchase using his own money. So he calls accountant and he's like, I'm buying a house. Meet me at escrow and bring a check. Then he goes to the escrow offices and he's waiting there with all the people ready to sign the paperwork.
And the accountant don't come.
He just needs the check. So they wait, and they wait, and they wait. But accountant doesn't show up. And Kenan keeps calling him, but he doesn't pick up.
That's crazy.
And this is the moment when he gets a really bad feeling. And he's going to get to the bottom of it. So he drives to accountant's house, and accountant is not home. So he parks in his driveway, and he doesn't sleep, and he doesn't eat. He just sits in his car waiting for accountant to come home all night. But by dawn, he's still not there. And that is when Kenan starts to realize that he's been robbed of his entire life savings.
Damn.
$1.5 million. Everything he worked for, all that Nickelodeon money, the money he was so careful not to spend, the future he had been planning for, all of it gone. And so poor Kenan is devastated. And that is when things keep getting worse. Because sometime after this, he gets a letter in the mail from the IRS. Apparently, all those years that accountant was supposed to be paying his taxes for him, he wasn't. He was just pocketing the money, I guess.
Damn.
And so now Kenan has a massive IRS bill
That's
for years
crazy.
of unpaid taxes, plus tons of penalties tacked on. So at this point, he has no choice. He has to sue accountant.
For real?
So Kenan takes him to court, and he wins the lawsuit,
For real?
but it doesn't seem to matter. Accountant has already spent all of Kenan's money, and people without money can't pay you back, even if you sue them. So now Kenan isn't just broke, he's in massive debt. Unpaid taxes, IRS penalties, and now lawyer's fees.
And that's true. Cause I just had to go through some court with this chick. I had worked for her, and the bitch ain't paid me. So I had to go to court for it, and I won. But the bitch broke. So I ain't getting paid. It is what it is. I ain't tripping about it because I'm going to make money. You know, the universe works in my favor all the time.
And thus, he has to go and file for bankruptcy. And this is officially the lowest point in his life. And so, now he has a choice. He can let this injustice drive him insane, or he can try to move on with his life. And ultimately, he decides he's not going to let this destroy him. He says, fuck this, I'm going to get back to work. And so he flies to Hollywood, determined to rebuild his life from the ground up. And he doesn't have a place to live, so he has to crash on the couch of one of his former co-stars of all that. And he has to borrow money from his mom and from his buddies just to get by. And he hustles and he hustles, but work doesn't come easily. And so he tells his agent, I will literally take any role that you can get me. I don't care if I have to play a hot dog vendor with one line, I'll take anything. And slowly, over time, one role leads to another, which leads to another, which leads to another. And then, in 2003, he finally gets the call. The greatest call he's ever gotten. It's Saturday Night Live.
The call he wanted. Not the greatest call. The call he wanted. That's it. Don't dick suck him like that.
They want him to join the cast. It is a dream come true. And so in 3 years, he went from sleeping on a couch to the greatest job a comedian can get. And
I didn't put him on Family Feud.
And Kenan's been on SNL ever since then. And he's become the longest lasting cast member in the show's history. So
shout out to Kenan, man. Shout out to Kenan, bro. You overcame, you did what you had to do. But don't be no fucking sellout. With that being said, like, subscribe, and share. Stay peaceful, productive, and positive. It's that nigga Mind. And much love.
Can I be real or is it boring? To give you a peace of mind, cause mine is so enormous. Way past the norm, norming, while you're conforming. Like comforting mattresses that comfort them with torment snoring. Like you in your own home with a home phone. I'm more like E.T., got a phone home past the moon. It's not a movie, I'm about to fly past it soon. Spiritually, I roam alone. Physically, I'm